Go fast. Like lightning, bro.
Not what I am.
Yeah.
Anything but fast.
That is not me. All right, and we are back for episode 15, which is second episode for season 2. Back fresh from a competition, unfortunately.
Fresh from the meat, dude, fortunately.
Is it? Because this is our third meet this year for both of us.
And we're able to walk back out of it.
So fortunately, that sounds good to me. And all the things that have torn me apart, nothing has made me more whole. Covering the good, the bad, and the shit that keeps us going. Straight from the head ref's table, I'm your host, Travis Papa Bear Rogers, and you are listening to A Forest Through the Trees, a cave podcast. Here with my co-host and officially name changed Instagram handler extraordinaire.
Kept my promise.
Kept your promise, sort of. We only had to remind you like 5 freaking times over the weekend to finally change your Instagram handle.
Some would say I had a lot going on.
You might have. I think that's selling it.
It wasn't in the hotel room, but it was on the way back in the truck. So, got it done.
It was. So, we're going to kick things off with a brief meet recap before we kind of get into a lot of, I wouldn't say controversy, but things that kind of like took hold this weekend, both at our meet and away at other meets this weekend. So I think our podcast is very relevant to what we were doing and what everyone else was doing. So do you want to go ahead and start with your recap?
Yeah, I can start. So it was a good meet for me. It was an okay meet. I came out with a 5-pound total PR. So whoop, big 5 pounds right there. I went 7 for 9, which is okay. I missed my third attempt squat. So my first and second were pretty good. They both moved really well. No like breakdown at all. Got to my third, and this is the first time I had I think this is the first time I missed a squat on a technical like ability.
Yeah,
to squat.
I actually jumped up when he missed because I thought he got hurt because I'd never seen him move like that in a squat before.
Yeah, I think in about a year and a half, this is the first squat that I missed off of like, oh, I'm not strong enough to hit this in this position.
Yeah.
So that was a you know.
So we took 8:17 for you in training, right?
Yes.
And the third we jumped to that we missed was 8:25.
That's correct. Yeah. And so my jumps were 750 opener, which I opened with last time. That was no problem. And I jumped the 50 pounds to 8, which I hadn't done but once in training, and it moved really well.
Yeah, bullied it. It looked great.
That was the best I moved 8, I feel like. And then I was really confident going into the third for 825. And I think just fatigue over the first 2 and then getting myself out of position where I couldn't fix it. And I think so my hips came back over in the back of me.
Yeah.
Like my legs and my hips were like, yeah, we're going to squat this. And my upper back was like, we're going to lose all tension. You're going to stay right where you were.
We're going to make everyone freak out for a second.
And but the spotters had me, caught me, got me back in. I was fine, walked out, no injuries. I was all good. Checked in with everybody, so they're all like, are you okay? What happened? I'm fine, it was all good.
Yeah.
Bench was good, warming up. I felt super strong, through all my presses on the boards, dropping down to a 1 board, that was fine. I think I took like 510 or 515 for my last 1 board. Jumped to 540 for a touch, went really well. That was the best 540 it moved.
Yeah, that was a pretty opener, man.
Technically wise, like that was like,
I almost missed it from the side.
Oh, really?
Like, by the time they had called press, I was like, oh, shit, he's done. It was quick, man.
Definitely
I was like, okay.
I was super happy with that.
Yeah, I was too.
So I took my planned jump to a 565, and that was not as good.
little bit of turbulence. We were wondering if it was going to go or not.
Yeah. It was a hard touch. Just the groove was a little bit off. Had to save it, and I pressed kind of straight up instead of getting myself back into it, and locked it out.
You mean you tried to take off in a helicopter and not take off in a plane?
That's right. Kind of had to muscle out of it, which wasn't great. But I got called 2-1. Good lift for like my left cheek coming up. That was about it.
Which is weird because I've also never seen you have cheek issues either.
I think that was just paired with like me getting out of position. I'm trying to save it.
Fight or flight mode. You're just like, fuck, get it off of me.
And then deadlifts was fine. Like by that point, my lower back was like, damn, we got through like a whole meet so far, and I'm hurting, but it's not bad. It's just like I'm hurting. I was like, let me pull my opener and see what happens. Opener went great. I made a cautious jump to a lower second, about 35 pounds up, and that went fine. So that put me in the 19s, which is where I was like, okay, I can walk away with a second, 1,900 pound total this year. And after that went well, I did the math to see what would give me a 5-pound total PR, which was another 35-pound jump. So I just went for that. It was a 10-second deadlift. It was very, it was a grinder.
We debated if he had gone 600 instead of 590, we might have not had the same outcome.
Yeah, I'm glad I made the call for that one. Got the 5-pound total PR, walked away with a bench PR and a total PR. So all in all, good day.
Yeah, definitely solid. I was very proud of you. I think you did a great job of pulling your head out of your butt when you needed to. I think you got a little worried about, what was going on in particular, as far as like what you could have corrected in the moment. But I think you went past that and ultimately made the changes you need today to still walk away with a little PR. And then I had to have my I've already been there and done this talk with you where I PR'd 1,800 and then my next meet was like 1,802. Like stuff happens and it's part of the game. And we both agreed you were due for one.
I was. I can't take 50-pound, 100-pound total PRs every meet. So.
You mean that's not normal? You just don't jump
totally
50, 100 pounds every time you go to a meet?
Hard pill to swallow, but it's one I knew I had to take.
Yeah. My meet recap was weird. Definitely not it was a good outcome. It was just not one I expected. 2 days before this, we had already been worried about the whole meet prep with the one titty. So this is my first meet going on with one titty. And I haven't had surgery to fix it. So we were just kind of going in the band shirt for the F8 and just seeing what was going to happen. Luckily, training, as we've been recapping, went really well for that. And we were on track for a good thing. Let's see. We recorded the last podcast on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And then I strained my adductor Wednesday the next day, doing good girl, bad girls on the nasty girl machine.
Which I called. I said,
you did.
We're doing this a little bit heavier than...
Yeah, but we didn't even think of it. And then I noticed it when we did our deload squats. And then, of course, by the time we got to that hotel room Friday night, sure enough, I had a big welt. It was swollen. It hurt. And I was like texting like friends, like Amber Dawn, and be like, hey, my groin. We couldn't pinpoint the pain. And then eventually we're like, no, that's definitely it. We're not looking great.
Yeah. It was scary for a second.
We had talked of me taking a token squat and then just saving the energy for the rest of the day if it didn't. But we, lo and behold, had the balm of all balms, the AKA dirty hot earth.
Hot earth.
There's this. I probably got off some dumbass TikTok shop now that I like try to remember it. But anyway, it's called Dragon's Blood Balm. It smells horrendous. It's real weird. It's not like horse liniment, but it's like, I don't know.
It smells like clay with cayenne peppers in it.
Yeah. It's very earthy. Like you can smell it through your clothes. You can wash your hands like 5 times and it doesn't go away. So anyway, I had to rub that on basically my balls, which is... Looking back at it, it's probably the least offensive to your balls as far as if you compare it to like toasty or like horse liniment. But eventually, by the time we got towards the meet, it was like I had pain from like a 7 out of 10 to now down to like a 1.5 out of 10. It hurt putting my briefs on, and then I got really nervous, and then it totally went away. And then all of a sudden, squats were good, and I made a 40-pound PR on the platform.
Yeah, you took 840 for your
840 for an all-time PR, and it was actually really, really smooth.
It was great.
Yeah, it's probably the one I've had. And I've even had friends of my clients text me. They're like, "Dude, that's like the least amount I've ever seen you shake." So I was like, "Yeah, it was a good squat."
It was a very confident squat.
Yeah, I took 840. I went 800, 840, and then scratched it and just walked and was super happy with that. I was definitely tired. I told Carl and Matt, this is the most off I've felt during a meet day. Like, I just felt I was sweating a lot. Like, I just didn't feel good. Low energy. Like, I knew the strength was there. I just didn't feel good at all. So I don't know what was up with that. But I felt a little weak going into bench, and I was like, shit. By the time we got to my last one board, I started feeling okay. 600 to a one board felt really good. So I was like, okay, I'm going to at least like knock this opener out. Smoked my opener and got a really bad rack command. To the point where I was locked out and holding it for an extravagant amount of time at the top. And all of a sudden, my surgery arm, my left tricep started cramping, which scared the living fuck out of me. And then I just immediately scratched the other two. I was like, I just got a PR squat. I'm not going to blow out my fucking arm. So I just called it immediately, which sucks because I definitely felt like I had a 700 this meet, but I wasn't willing to risk it on another bad call with something even heavier. So
live to see another day.
Yeah, I kind of want to like hang out with you for a while and do this. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Which already had me on PR on track for the PR total. So I was like, it's all good. Went out and pulled my opener at 675. Bumped my second attempt from instead of 705 to 710 to lock down 2200 on the dot. Took it, smoked it, and walked. So I did. Why do what you could do in 9 attempts, which you could do in 5 attempts, was my motto. So I went 5 for 5 and walked away with a massive total PR, and then just chilled the rest of the day, and then got my ass tattooed by Carl in the hotel room. So, which actually looks really good right now.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. I'm pretty proud of you. So we had a good day. It was good. And I guess we'll update everybody when we decide we're going to either sign up for this or not. So we'll see what happens. Yep. My goal is to ease back into a poly. I'm most happy in traditional single and multi-poly. It was not my choice to do a band shirt. It was just kind of like, that's what my titty could put up with at the current time. So we're going to eventually see what it's like to press in one of those to like a 3-board and just see what happens. Ease back into that, but I'm going to take a little time to bodybuild and recoup.
We're going to break out the 4-board and the 3.5.
I think when I retract, I'd touch the 4. I don't even think it would just be me doing like shoulder. Like that would be it. But yeah, shout out to our crew. Dude, we had such an amazing time with the crew. Out of all of that, like I could give a fuck less about the actual like performance of the meet. I had a great time with our crew, man. We had Matt, Bo, Rachel, Alex was competing at the time, his girlfriend Casey, McLovin was out there, Rob came down, his girlfriend Lauren. Like we just fucking had the whole crew out there.
It was everybody.
Yeah, and great. we had such a great time. So I mean, like that's what it's all about. And we had as many compliments as me and Carl had on us, our lifting ability. We had just as many on how awesome our crew was and how nice they were helping everybody and shit. So I mean, like that's what I'm always most proud of when we go to meets, and that's how it fucking should be. So again, if you're not lifting with the crew and you don't got that, we could talk about that till we're blue in the face and how important crew mentality and lifting is. So I'm very proud of our crew and our gym and Team No Luck. So appreciate everybody for doing that for us and just being fucking together. So it was quite the weekend.
It was a great time.
So, but on to that. Not only did we see some shady lifts get passed at our meet, which is going to happen at every meet, there was a lot of shady lifts being not passed and passed all around. Yeah. So the WPO was literally how far away from us?
It was in York, PA, so I don't know how many hours that is, but it's like a state away, pretty much.
Yeah. It was going on at the same time in strict multi-poly, where almost half the pro flight bombed out on either squat depth or mostly up downs on not being on the lockout benches.
Yeah. So there was that was on the men's flight. I think the women were
women did eons better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the top gloss on the women's side was like 70 points over the men's top, which is insane. That's really good for them. But there's 7 bomb outs between the squat and the bench, I believe.
And that's not talking about like, oh, you're running the mill, people come up. We're talking like top dogs of multiply.
Some would say professionals.
Yeah. If we could use the word professional in our sport, it would cater to these people for sure.
Yeah. So it was surprising to see. I can't lie. I was like, we were competing, but I was like glued to lifting.
Yeah, I know. Every time I turn around to talk to Carl about something at our meet, he'd be like, "Did you see?" And I'm like, "No, dude, I didn't." But this man was glued to the scoreboard. So, I was well updated via Carl.
Talk a little bit about it though. Like we saw people's updates now and people posting like their experience there. I don't know if you have seen any. Did you?
I got to see some of the squats and stuff, and I've seen, of course, like videos going around, a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people comparing it to last year's WPO, and things getting past that, last year that, would have also passed this year, but this year seemed like the standard was much more enforced. I wouldn't say strict. I would say enforced.
Yeah, that's good.
Because, I mean, as many copy and pasted rule books in all of powerlifting, not one of them gives an exception to depth for how many plies you're wearing.
That's true.
It doesn't say single ply -1 inch, multiply 2 layers -2 inches. Like,
Right.
It doesn't work like that. But over the years, it seems like judging has gotten very laxed in ply lifting, and a lot of we would say older records have been overturned by squats that are much higher and more forgiving judging wise over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I've seen some people say, so, okay, one of the bigger pieces of news from that meet wasn't even at the meet. It was before when the flight dropped. This was the first one that Hoff didn't go to.
Correct.
And he was like the guy for a long time. And
I wouldn't say the guy for a long time. I would say he still is the guy.
True. He is still
He
the
is the
guy.
guy.
He was just not at this one, which was surprising to a lot of people because I looked back on the Instagram page for the WPO, and October 30th, he was still included on that, and then 10 days later, he was not. So, I'm not sure what is going on with that or what happened. Maybe, I'm not going to speculate on here. It's he's not going to say it if he doesn't want to, and that's fine. But I heard a lot of people saying that, they got way more strict because Hoff wasn't there and they had to actually count squats. And I don't think that's true at all because I've seen a lot of his squats, and a lot of them are to a very good standard, and some of them aren't, and that's fine. That just happens in the sport. Some of them are good, some of them are great. Whatever passes. But I just I wanted to say that out there. Like, I don't think because he wasn't there that the rules got changed.
So, which leads us to a very important part. And actually, funny enough, I wrote this script and shared this with you before any of this happened.
Right.
So it was weird because it's kind of like it all meshed together when I looked at like what our next script was, and I was like, "Shit, small world!" Like that just kind of.
It's very convenient.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
This happened right before we were about to talk about this.
Right. So it leads me to as many people who have followed me for a little while know, I was, I've been very involved in powerlifting as far as helping rewrite rule books, refereeing, obviously meet directing for a number of years now. More or less giving practicals to a shitload of people on the East Coast. Like, I was like the dude you took your practical with for many meets and many feds. But one of the reasons I was let go, and I'll use that loosely as I don't want to turn this whole podcast into a fuck you, fry it up session because I easily could. But one of the reasons I was let go from the WRPF was our agreement and standards were not aligned. Meaning, I wrote referees tests and practicals that needed to be passed. They kept lowering the standard. It was this amount. Now I think it's all the way down to like what, an 80%, and you can retake the test. Like, making accommodations for people, which is crazy speaking to me because I'm a school teacher, so obviously I know about IEPs and accommodations. But like at the same time, like if you're asking someone to make a split decision on a platform refereeing, like there's no do-overs, right? There's no accommodations for that. I'm paying you as a meet director to know your shit in my chair and make your best judgment call possible in the moment, right? So my problem with all that was, if we're lowering the standards of what it takes to be considered a referee and a qualified referee, right? Like, is that also, unfortunately, aiding in the downfall of, our referee standards, meet to meet, fed to fed, but also aiding in the disalignment of what's considered strict and lax meet to meet, fed to fed. Right? Because now you're having referees of all different calibers, coming in on multiple feds, different feds, some ref for one fed, some ref for multiple feds, that there's a fluctuating standard. And what I mean by that is the rule books themselves, many are copy and paste and do not change, right? Hip crease below the knee, the top of the knee, right? Qualifying what is parallel when you have, one of the ones that caused a huge uproar was one of the last ABS meets, right?
Right.
Tons of raw lifters getting red lights where, I mean, you could even see fucking depth from the front in those videos. One that comes to mind is MJ Greeno's and Heidi's videos of her
Heidi
raw
Howard,
squatting. Yeah, getting red lights on her squats, which are fucking buried. Which is coming strictly from Heidi as a multiply lifter and a damn good one at that. So it's like, you know, you've seen her on both sides of the platform. A shout out to Heidi, also a very nice person. But one of the problems is, like, you see that, you know, our biggest issue, I guess, in all this giant ramble I'm trying to say is too strict and too lax is both equally bad for the sport.
Right.
Right? How can we consolidate these standards, these refs, these rules, where we're getting the most redundant and equal opportunity for our lifters as a set standard where, you know, you're not having one meet turn this record attempt down and then that, you know, that lifter says, well, fuck that fed, waiting 3 months and then going to another fed just to try to get that same lift passed.
Which
we're seeing more and
recently.
more. Yeah.
What was his name? He competed at the
Hassam?
at the Doghouse Classic. He took a world record raw squat in sleeves, and it was passed there. And he got a lot of backlash online.
Huge backlash.
And that's another one of Greeno's guys, I believe.
It is.
So they even went back and were like, they're going to turn that down. They turned down the world record squat after the fact, and he went to another meet a few weeks later, I believe. And did it again, and it still got backlash. People were still telling him, like, hey, that wasn't it.
Yeah, passed in 2 different feds. So, I mean, ultimately, when we talk about these things, and I'm trying to look at this so we can organize this instead of just a giant ramble, right? But we're having this overthrow in powerlifting now where there's your staff quality, besides the staff that has good names for themselves. Like, there are spotting and loading teams, per se,
right.
like Laura. Like, when you go to the women's pro-am, there's dudes that have ref that every single year. Referees, you know what I mean? It's a constant. You have an actual ref/spotter loader team coming up. So you have, like, your quality of staff because of testing, because of inexperience is lower. But now we also have an influx of meat, which is higher, right? So there's less experienced staff to go around for the higher demand of meats popping up fucking willy-nilly everywhere because everyone wants to be a meat director. Yeah. Everyone can throw a meat, but you don't got the fucking team to do it. So you're throwing hodgepodge ragtag team meets, and then that's adding to the problem.
We've pushed a lot in recent episodes and past episodes about having the right equipment to run meets and having, like, you know, the right, a correct way to hold it. But I don't think we talked too much about having, like, the right people there with you.
And on this theme, I literally just talked to, I just talked to Dave. I just talked to Dave Tate over at Elite and sent in my new article for publication, which talking about that's literally called Downfall of the Modern Day Meat Director.
Yep.
And it's talking about, like, why people, even who have good intentions for the sport, are harming the sport because they don't have this set equipment, this set team, this set standard, and are just, like, flying by the seat of their pants to try to hopefully meet this influx of meat demands, right? Well, all these lifters in my area want to meet, so I'm going to throw a meet, right? And so they're trying to throw these meets in somebody's backyard when they're not prepared or ready for it.
Yeah. I even think it trickled into the one we just did because it wasn't even like a couple weeks out. They're like posting on Instagram. RPS was like, hey, we're looking for spotters and loaders for this meet.
Right, yeah, and you have
there's more and more meets, but there's not enough people that can go around to actually do it and they're experienced enough to hop in and run it correctly.
And that's always been a problem, but I think especially within the last 5 years, I've seen it really rise up where you're like, meets are poorly staffed, and it's hard to get people to volunteer their time. And it's not even like, yes, we say volunteer your time, but most meet directors, including myself, take care of their staff. You know, they're offering, you get a meat t-shirt, you get your lunch paid for, you get a cash handout at the end, you get a meat stipend to incentivize you to do another meet and compete on your own. Like, you get these things with becoming a part of the staff and spotting, loading crew, etc., for a fed or more likely a director, right? But still, it seems like there's not enough pull for that.
Yeah, and that's not me talking trash on the meet we just did. There was a very well run meet.
Yeah, it was a good meet. I would say that was
just
solid
something
meet.
that happened where they were posting like, "Hey, we need spotters and loaders," and we're like 2 weeks out.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, unfortunately, those sort of things happen, and it's one of those things where it's like your meet directors, especially with a high flow of events, it gets hard to keep up with like a steady influx and revolving door of people coming in and out to staff these events.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect the same people to be at every single event.
And that kind of falls back on the lifters too, because being in the sport, if you are in it and you're competing, this is like your, fourth, fifth meet, like you are doing it,
Yeah.
I would say that falls under your giving back to the sport. Like, hey, sign up to spot. Sign up to like spot and load. Become a ref if you can, like under a good meet director that knows what they're doing. It's really an important part, and I think that falls on a lot of the lifters.
And I think it comes down to, like, when you talk about it, especially that way, Carl, I'm glad you said it that way. It's like when you're talking about becoming that with a meet director you trust, right? That's trying to grow the staff in a positive way, right? Not just, hey, I saw this guy hosting me, I'm just going to go take my practical here. That's what it is, right? Yeah. You're trying to outsource and look for someone like, hey, I've seen this person in the area for a long time. They care about their lifters. They care about putting on quality meets. That's the kind of people I need to learn from.
Right.
Because we do see that. And with the downfall of those standards of, taking your multiple choice test, taking your written test, and then doing your shadow day where you sit with your meet director and other national or higher level referees to take your practical, right? Like, the more that goes down, the more shitty refs we're going to churn out.
Yeah.
Which are going to aid to, we're humans, we make mistakes in the moment, but churning out shittier ones isn't fucking helping that percentage.
Yeah, and I feel like saying like, oh, well, humans, we all make mistakes. To a point, that has to be like, okay, but you have to be still good at what you're doing,
Yeah.
We're all here to run this meet correctly and throw up good calls.
Right. And inconsistency in judging has always been one of the biggest downsides of powerlifting. And, people say, well, eventually they'll get playback cameras and it's a robotic judge, or eventually they're going to, now there's more feds implying juries to overturn lifts and things like that.
Yeah.
That have instant playbacks. But all in all, there's always going to be discrepancy.
It's true.
There's always going to be...
The goal is to limit
the
discrepancy.
And if you're lowering those standards for testing and you're allowing, like, for example, if you failed your referee test and you took it again, and keep in mind, these are fucking open book.
Yep.
Open book.
Yep.
Why the fuck would I want to pay you to sit in my ref chair on my team?
And it's not a giant book.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not a giant book. Yeah. So, I mean, like... I'm very passionate about that. Like, when I had refs in my chair, I always wanted them to be handpicked. I wanted them to know what they were doing. I wanted to feel like the lifters were getting a standardized and honest, fair shot at their lifts at a meet, right? And I always prided myself in that. And, of course, you'd have your couple say, oh, your refs are too strict, your refs are this, your refs are that. But that's going to be at any meet you do. But if you look across the board and those calls are all consistent all day long, that's what you're looking for. Right? Because then everyone's getting the same experience.
Yeah. That's another thing I want to tie into this recent WPO event where everybody was like, these red lights are getting tossed left and right. I think it's really important to say that everybody was competing with the same refs. So everyone was getting the same treatment on that. Yeah. It wasn't just... one person was getting, reds tossed at him all day and it looked bad. No, everybody had the same treatment, so everybody knew what the standard was at the time to compete.
It wasn't an out to get you.
Right. And thing. Then the people who made it through, and the people who didn't, they bombed. That's just how it was at the meet.
Exactly. But I mean, ultimately, when I've talked to other meat directors, me and Garrett Fear still talk sometimes, and I always love hearing his wild ass opinions sometimes. Shout out to Garrett. I mean, this has been a debate for at least the last couple years, if not starting to become more popular. Is should open powerlifting have the ultimate authority to dox world records?
Yeah, I want to get your opinion on that first.
Oh, my opinion?
Yeah.
Nobody listens to me. It's one of the reasons I'm not with any feds anymore. I come up with ideas. No one wants to fucking hear them. As far as like open powerlifting have ultimate authority over that, there would need to be obviously like as many copy and paste rule books as we've been talking about. There would need to be a set and openly available set of guidelines that would make sure and entail that whatever world record, national record, what have you, be met, right? There would need to be like probably multiple angles for whoever was on open powerlifting, that team, to deliberate if it was to be overturned.
Okay.
But it sounds, and I mean, it's messy. It's messy. 100%. There's no way you can cut that it's not. But it would be the first big step in synchronizing and aligning powerlifting to one thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you're not going like, even though you're having your multiple feds spread out, now you have all your drug tested records here. You have all your untested records here. And now you have a sole team that's in charge of, yes, this was good. Yes, this is not. And they're on 2 collective lists. Okay. And I think that is honestly your first step in doing that. And they would have the power to, hey, this squat was fucking 4 inches high at a backyard meet. We have the authority to shut that shit down. Yeah. I mean, people could argue, did it pass for, the meet, but not pass for the world record that it's up for? You know what I mean?
That's a hard call.
Because then you'd be possibly like bombing people out after the fact the meet's over.
Which is the main reason why I'm against them having dictation over what passes and what.
Okay, so let me get your opinion on it.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay.
I think, well, to your point, it being the first step to having one conglomerate of what is what, I think, yeah, that's a very hard ask.
And that's why I said it doesn't fix it. It's just
Right.
a loose first step.
Right. It's a very hard ask, and I think they have to have some sort of accommodation for, they don't get paid for what they do.
No, they don't.
I don't know who it is, but I know they don't get paid for it.
I've been a contributor for, I don't even know how long. But if you go on open powerlifting and you're a Patreon member, that's how people have their names changed.
Colored.
If you're mine's gold,
Yeah.
or whatever. But like, you can have your name changed. They'll change your name color, but you donate a certain amount of money to the project per month. It just automatically comes out. I've been doing that for I don't even know how many years.
Yeah. So, on that note, I don't think it would be a good idea to have them dictate what is what in powerlifting.
Right.
Because in reality, what they have going on right now is they are just the messenger. They just have whatever's submitted to them. They take it and say, okay, cool. You guys had your referees, your federation, everything go through this, and it was passed then. Now we are just going to put it up on our database and say, this is what
Right, and
happened
initially
now.
that is their responsibility. I think that's 100% fair of what you're saying.
I just think it would be hard. It would have too much backlash from every fed, every single fed.
You know what we do need instead, now that you've said that, because I think the way you said it was perfect, we need like a fucking Justice League of like top meat directors.
Okay.
There's like 10 of them. And then all of a sudden, whenever one of these discrepancies happens, they go to the Justice League and they fucking send those videos over and they fucking do it up.
How do you pick the Justice League?
I don't know.
Who is that assigned to?
Well, I'm definitely fucking getting a spot. All right, I'm Justice League material. All right. I don't know how we would pick that. I guess that would become a whole nother thing too.
That would be a whole other thing.
Because then as soon as we agree on, that's what we should do, they'd be like, well, we don't agree on who's on it.
You know how hard it is to get people in one fed to agree on something? Imagine all the feds trying to agree.
Yeah, but that's why it would be the Justice League.
Yeah.
Shitty Justice League.
Wasn't there a time? What was before open powerlifting? What was that?
Powerlifting Watch.
Yeah, I think there was a time when those guys weren't accepting certain feds.
Probably.
And
I'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
I believe that caused a lot of backlash.
Because I just remember that was still when I was 181.
Yeah.
I was like checking them lists all the time, and I'd be like, all right, I need this and this and this
Where
to
am I at?
see my name on the list.
Yeah.
Got to make the list.
I'm pretty sure they tried something like that and it didn't turn out too well. And so they stopped doing that, or it migrated over to what open powerlifting is now, where they don't have that system.
Okay. So, I mean, like, unfortunately, it ultimately does fall on the meat directors.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no way.
With an ever-growing sport, you are going to have issues come about with more and more people being in it. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And that was my very first fucking argument is like the standardized testing going down and shit for directors and referees. The more people we include that are less qualified, the shittier and shittier it gets.
Yeah.
Because and most of those people don't fucking last. I'm going to be a meat director for 2 years. I don't know where I've seen that before, Carl. It definitely hasn't happened in our fucking local DMV. Has it, Carl?
No, not once.
Yeah, don't get me fucking started on that
Definitely not
fucking
super
shit.
recently.
God, you fucking pieces of shit.
So, obviously, there's issues that are very, present and need to be addressed, but in what ways, How do you stop that from happening?
Sorry, I'm just angry now. I can't even think straight now.
I'm getting warm just by
you
feeling the heat coming off of you.
Yeah, I'm just fucking mad now. God.
How do you stop that from happening? How do you get people to not be in and out for a meat director? I'm gonna hold meats, and now I'm done with doing it.
I think
and now all the shit that I put through, does it still count? Who dictates that?
Right. I think it should be like. Okay, and that comes down to like the admin / Fed owners.
Okay.
Right? Because ultimately they're hiring / firing, incorporating your meat directors, right?
Yeah.
So like I love Bobby, and Bobby won't mind me shouting him out on this podcast. So Bobby Bolin, been a close friend of mine for years now. He learned shit from me. I learned a bunch of shit from him. Great guy. He's one of the half owner of MPL. Who's also coming down to run our meet in December for me. So that way, me and the newly appointed Coach C can handle a boatload of my lifters. I think we got like fucking 6 now. It's a lot. We're going to be a busy day, but we're going to have a fun fucking day. So, but like ultimately, like let's just use Bobby for example. And we'll use me for an example, right? Just so we can make this super easy. So Bobby's in charge of hiring meet directors. I've been a meet director for multiple Fed. I've worked with Bobby as meet directors for USPA. We didn't work together for WRPF because when I went to the WRPF and tried to keep everyone together, he formed MPL and wanted me and Jess to come with him. And we said, nah, fam, we still love you, but like this is what we're doing now. And then everyone just fractured more and more and more and more, and here we fucking are today. Mm-hmm. Anyway, long story fucking short. But if Bobby wanted to have me... let's say I got a wild hair up my ass and wanted to start meat directing again. ... Tune in next time to see what the fuck he's gonna do next.
Yeah. Day to day, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. But if he wanted to hire me, there's a multitude of things he could ask for to check off. How many meets has this person competed in? How long have they been a referee in powerlifting? What are they associated with within powerlifting? Do they have the necessary equipment? Like there is a lengthy list.
Are you describing a background check?
Well, 2 things. Background checks, like literal background check, like law enforcement background check, and powerlifting background check. So yes, I believe there should be a powerlifting background check as well. One says, hey, I'm not going to fuck around with and do anything super fucking weird and / have done shit weird already. And the other one says, besides that, I got all the shit to actually fucking do this and the experience to back it up.
Right. I know powerlifting and I'm also not going to touch people.
More or less. More or less.
It's really,
Is that a problem in powerlifting?
Yeah, I think we've heard about it a few times.
That's wild. That's why you should not do this. You should just keep your hands to yourself. should probably not touch people or text people wild shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
Powerlifting's gross. Powerlifting's real gross.
back to the topic.
Anyway, so if he had a laundry list of things he could ask me that I could prove, obviously anyone, just like a meet invitation, Bobby could look me on Open Powerlifting, seen I've done X, Y, and Z as far as meets, these divisions, what have you, had spent this many years actively competing in powerlifting, could ask me for a referee log, for meets I've refed, and all that kind of stuff, to hire me as a meet director, say, hey, this guy's solid, he knows what he's doing. This is a promising thing that showcases his time in the sport, and he's going to stay with us in the sport. Now, I understand 100% not everyone has that, and we do need new meet directors. But I really think we are inflating the quote-unquote need for new people. Like, for example, when I was in the WRPF, there was like 1 billion people lined up to take their fucking practical. Mm-hmm. Tons of people failing tests. Tons of people who wouldn't return the emails. Tons of people who hadn't even fucking ordered their shirt yet. Like, just tons of bullshit. And it's like, dude, if I have to fucking chase you down, it's just like I said here, like, I don't want to pay you in my referee chair.
Yeah. If you got to chase somebody down to order a ref shirt.
Yeah, like, I don't want you in my ref chair.
How likely are they going to be to show up and actually actively sign up to ref at meets?
Yeah. Hey, man, I scored a 50 on my test. I'm going to retake it in 3 weeks, and then I'll come take my practical with you. No fucking thanks. No.
Yeah.
Why would I want to hire you to work for me? I'm here to give lifters a good opportunity to compete at a fair meet, not give you shitty second chances. That's your fault. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's so ridiculous. Like, it's a hobby sport that people pay money to compete in, right? If you're going to pay me X amount of money for a meet registration, I want to make sure you get that good experience.
I think an important part to say on that note is, 3 weeks later and they take the test again and somehow pass it, that's a no-go. That shouldn't fly.
I don't think you should be allowed to retake it. It's open book. It is open fucking book.
Say you got 3 more years in the sport after that, and you come back. You know what? I want to take it again. I did 5 more meets.
That's different. That's not
what I'm saying.
That's not 3 weeks later.
That's what I'm saying. If you do it 3 weeks later, pass it, and then you're like, I want to do this, and it's a no-go. That's fine. That's understandable. But if you're like, I screwed it up this time. Give me some more experience in the sport. Let me stay around for a little bit longer, and then want to retake it. I think that'd be okay.
Because I was one of the people in charge of also making the national requirements. Mm-hmm. So this is what I think. If you're going to be a meet director, number one, period, you have to be a national level or higher referee. Mm-hmm. Because that that just already covers you've done X amount of meets for reffing, you've been in the sport for X amount of time, you've put your time in on platform as staff. Mm-hmm. Like, all those things should be non-negotiables for you to be a meet director.
Right, I agree.
Okay? And then as far as like referee goes, if you're starting from the bottom, like, you should at least have 3 full power meets experience to be able to go, like, at least try to take your written.
I would say 3 is low.
Carl, I think 3 is low too, but if I said fucking 5, they'd be like, well, I only compete once a year. I'm not going to wait 5 fucking years to be a referee.
That's on you. Do more than 1 a year.
God, you're so heartless, buddy. God, you're so heartless. You make me so fucking proud. You're just growing up so... They grow up so fast. You're so ruthless. I love it. If you're not fucking me.
If you want to do this, and then the requirement says this, and you're like, oh, well, I don't do that. Okay, well, then either wait the time. If you really want to do it, wait the time.
Be like, you know what else I don't do? Hire dipshits like you.
Because if you got to wait 5 years because you do 1 meet per year and you got to do 5, and you're out by 3, well, you weren't going to stick around anyway.
Very good point. Yeah, 100%. God, I'm so proud of you. The man you're becoming.
It's just like, that's all it is. You wouldn't have stuck around anyway. So no big deal. We didn't lose anybody we wanted to keep around. You know what I mean?
I 100% agree. Like, and that's our biggest problem with directors right now, is like, you have so many people trying to grab a piece of the pie when there's not enough pie to said go around, right? Like, it looks like, okay, on the outskirts of things, it looks like powerlifting's the biggest it's ever been and the most popular it's ever been, which I can agree is true. Yeah. Now, is that Inflated? No. It's proven by numerical data on open powerlifting. We see registration growth in all feds from year previous to now.
Yep.
Right?
It's
It's
super
proven
simple.
fact.
2 is bigger than 1. There you
Right.
go.
Yeah. Like, but at the same time, because of that, we have an influx of meat demands going up, but not enough people, and when I say people, I mean directors and admin, negotiating where these meats are going. So while your local level directors are trying to continue their normal ladder of events. So, let's, again, use me for example. If we ran our 4, me and Matt used to run other meets for Outlaw at other gyms, but if we ran just our 4 at the cave, seasonal. Yep. We ran our 4 seasonal meets. We do our Halloween meet, we do No Luck, we do Good Guy Invitational, and we do King of the Cave, right? So, all our annual seasonal meets, right? That's 4. Now you have admin placing in extra additional regionals. That's not just one regional, right? So say a regional covers a tri-state area, and there's multiple regions of that, plus other feds that are going to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So within our 4-hour driving, let's just use what we drove this weekend. We drove what, 4 hours?
4 hours.
4 hours-ish. In our 4 hours surrounding area, there you could be 3 different regionals.
That's for one fed. Yeah.
Right.
Imagine having more feds.
Which we do. We have 6.
Yeah.
We have 6. And we just had USAPL Delaware move into Delaware.
I know.
After the one lady got caught trying to tell everyone she had cancer and she didn't.
Well, yeah.
Man, that just makes powerlifting sound like it's full of good people, doesn't it? That hurts when you say it out loud. Fuck me. But, so you got, and by the way, never mind, I shouldn't say that out loud. I'm going to can that idea. That's going to be brutal.
Put a lid on it?
Yeah. That was gonna. I am glad I thought about that. I was about to fucking shit on someone's life by accident. Well, not by accident, on purpose. But
definitely on purpose.
I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, I'll just leave it at this. Again, open powerlifting is a thing. You can fact check anyone at any time. So if you want to know what your meet director has experienced and how many meets they've done before you go try to do a meet under them, you can go see that they've only been competing for 2 years, right? 2 years. Some of you going to do the meet have been competing longer than your meet director's been in the sport, which you know damn well they probably hadn't been a referee for that amount of time either. So that's telling you that like you're missing ton of experience to run something like this right off the fucking bat, right? And I had tons of experience, and I still sat with people like Bobby. I still sat with people like Johnny. Like, I had people I shadowed to learn more and more and more and more about the sport while I was a referee before I ever became a meet director. It's like people don't believe in that shit anymore. They're just like, I can do that. I have half the equipment. I have a couple friends that let me borrow some shit. We're just going to throw it together and see what fucking happens.
And then you try it, and then, year later, 2 years later, you're selling equipment on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow, Carl, I'm taking shots, bro. But, I mean, there's just so many people who, like, talk a big talk, and then it's like, and part of me, like, I love the sport. God, I fucking love the sport, and if I didn't tell you this weekend made me relive how much I fucking love the sport, I can't tell you what does. I had a fucking blast this weekend. I did. I had a great time. But it just makes me sad that it's like, why can't it be like that all the time? Because it's so full of people who are so full of fucking shit. Like, who just see something and I can do it. And are just ultimately making the sport worse. And then by the time you try to correct something, they just dip the fuck out. They're gone. Poof.
Yep.
Gone. And then the people who are still in it are left to clean up
whatever
the wreckage. Yeah. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the kind of damage we're talking about on local level when people do this kind of shit. Like, it destroys your local level of community of the sport, and then everyone else who's been here for the long haul is left with the scraps and trying to put it back together until the next dipshit runs along. You got to try to run them off before they do the same fucking thing. And then you start a vicious cycle of, I mean, because when we looked at the map now, there's not a single Maryland meet for BLU. It's just gone now. Just completely gone.
It was a flash in the pan from last year to now.
Yeah. I mean,
well, okay.
2 years ago we had 12 meets on the map?
Yep.
And then last year we had like 6. And then this year we have none.
And what happened during that time? What was the big plan that the federation had that they ran last year?
It was the regionals and nationals, man.
Yep.
Because everyone, and I mean, me and Carl have briefly touched on this. Like, when you don't support the local level and you buy into this, everyone can go to nationals, everyone can go to regionals with no qualifier whatsoever, just because you want a quick pick next to the banner and your fucking participation trophy. It destroys the local level. It destroys the people who have been trying to help you, give you a place to compete, to give you a place to put on for yourself, to give you a place to have that experience and bonding with you and your friends and your gym mates and your teammates. Like, it destroys all of that, because that revenue is just cut from that gym. It's cut from those directors, which is your source to make it through harder times, man. Like, I remember when we would run, like, if we ran King of the Cave at the beginning of the summer and we did well, that was enough money for me to put away for the gym to cover us for like a fucking super hard like month or 2.
Yeah.
And without those nest eggs, like your directors, your local gyms that are trying to keep going, like those crumble. Like, shit gets real and it gets real hard. And I mean, the same goes for people who hit me up and are like, hey, I want to open a gym. Like, dude, like, you don't understand how hard it is.
If you're thinking of like these top level meets as like the top of a pyramid, and like, that's just how it works. Like the peak of the pyramid is only as tall as the base is wide.
Yeah.
And the base would be your local level. So if you have a strong local level that's healthy, you're gonna have a tall pyramid.
Right.
But as soon as you stop nurturing this, you're just gonna crumble.
Yeah. And the quality of that, also like the pyramid, goes down.
Yeah.
It shrinks. But the problem is, too, is most of these big ones, right? So let's say WPO, like just for you and me to use our examples, right? For WPO, right? You had to have a certain qualifying or make a rankings list. What, it was top 50 invites?
Top 50, I believe there's 3 ways to get into it. It was either you competed last year, you placed first at APO Nationals, or you were top 50 gloss in the men's and women's open powerlifting.
And they sent you a personal invite, right?
I believe so.
Okay. So most other meets and other feds, and of course we're strictly talking about like multi and plies, but like if you're talking about other feds, like they're run and governed almost the same way, right? So if you're looking like the American Pro, the Showdown, the fucking
Ghost Clash, maybe?
ABS, I don't, the invitational meets, right? They're not inviting you off of, oh, this guy did regionals, we should invite him. They're inviting you off of your rankings on open powerlifting and those scores, right? Those can be put up at a local meet. So everyone that's just so fucking hellbent on spending all this money and going somewhere they don't need to go, like you can, it's Temu, bro. We got that at home. Like you could have just fucking stayed home and did that. And still, if you were that good, you'd still get your invite.
Yep, but that brings up the argument of local levels aren't as strict and you want to go to meets that have a good standard. When in reality, all meets should have a good standard.
And that just brings us full circle.
Yeah, we're back to where we started.
Yeah. But I mean, that again goes always what we always talk about is like you support the director, not support the fed.
Exactly.
Right? You talk to people, outsource, hey, we're not all going to this place because it's nationals. We're going to this place because we know the director. We've had friends that have been with that director. We know they're going to put on quality level meets with, 2 standard judging equipment, etc. Right? The whole shebang-a-bang. And then if there's extra at the end, they got some fucking fog. Woohoo, go for it.
I want to make a point real quick.
Sure.
We had somebody ask us this weekend, why are you guys here?
Oh, dude. Oh, God. That rubbed my pickle the wrong way, dude.
Why are we here?
Yeah, we had somebody straight up ask me and Carl, why are you here?
So, why were we there?
All right, so here, I'm just going to say a little bit because I'd rather you talk on it. The only person that runs mono meets is me. Right? In this area. Anywhere else me and Carl go for ply, which we went on mono for, had double leg surgery. I'm not fucking walking out 840 pounds.
I don't know anybody who walks out in multi.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does that.
So, and single too, whatever. It's just safer, dude. Monos are better. And if you don't agree with that, like, go fucking fight yourself. I don't care. Pick a corner. Go fuck off to it. Monos are safer, period. But, like, so I think the nearest one me and Carl could drive through is 3 hours. And me and Carl rotate federations. Like, we did MPL in the monolift. Mm-hmm. We did RPS in the monolift. We did a PLU here in the monolift. Like, the only way you can do a mono meet is if we drive, right? So when people ask us why we're here, our number one is this is the only place we can find safety to lift and ply, and that's how we want to lift because we like ply, and it's fucking fun, and that's what we're going to do. You lift the way you want to, we'll lift the way we want to. But, like, safety and a monolift, it's always our number one concern. So, like, if they don't have that, we don't have that option. We have to look for a meet that has that for us. So for us in that time frame, that was 4 hours away in New Jersey. Yep. So we were there. The fact that, like, and I think social media and open powerlifting has greatly distorted this because you used to not be able to easily look people up. Right? Now you can look people up at a click of a button. And, I love to dox people in open powerlifting. But it is also a blessing and a curse, right? Because I feel like it changes the dynamic and warps the meet slightly because if you're gung-ho and fired up and then you see the roster released a week early and you can click someone's name and look them up and be like, well, fuck, I'm not even close to that. I guess I'm battling for second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that does change some attitudes, and the way we were met with that comment sort of felt like that.
And I think it was really funny the way it happened, too, because it didn't happen during the weigh-in process. It happened after their coach started talking to us.
Yeah, which their coach was extremely friendly.
He was.
Very nice guy. He came right up and talked to us.
It was just like
he walked up to me and said, "Hey man, I really like your articles on Elite FTS." Like, started with a compliment to me.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
So it wasn't like it wasn't malicious at all.
What I'm saying is, like, the person who asked us this, I'm not going to say their name, that's not anything important, but it was they didn't know anything. Like, they didn't know who we were. I'm not saying we're anybody, but they didn't know who we were, obviously. And then once their coach, somebody who they know, was talking to us, obviously they knew who we were, or you were. Then it was like, oh, these guys, well, I'm not gonna place. So why are you guys here? What's going on? Why are you at this, like, local level, how he dubbed a low level meet?
Yeah, and it's not local for us. It's 4 hours away.
We had to drive a long time to get there, and it was the safest one we could get to that was up to what we need, equipment wise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have every right to sign up for whatever meet we want to.
Yeah, I mean, we paid our bucks just like you did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just sucks when some people are like that. And again, like, if me and Carl want to qualify for something and earn a better dots or gloss, like, and get invited to other stuff, like, we can do that at any meet we want.
Yeah.
Like, why are we going to wait till we got to pay more money to go somewhere else to try to get a qualifier for something? That's outrageous.
Yeah. I mean, you said everything I was going to say. That's all I wanted to bring up was kind of how it tied into that, and just rubbed me the wrong way at the meet, and wanted to bring a point.
Yeah, it did. It rubbed me the wrong way too. It was very strange. But I mean, you get strange people at meets. You do.
Yeah.
And also another big thing, like, that we heard at the meet that I was like, oh, whoa, that's not true at all. Talking about shirts and gear. Like, somebody was like, hey, man, I'm really interested. Like, me and Carl had multiple people, raw lifters, maybe raw with wraps, but mostly just straight up raw. We're like, hey, man, I watch you guys imply. I've always been curious about it. Could you give me some information on it? Or, like, when you're done lifting, just shoot the shit with me. We talk to tons of people about gear, and it's super cool because, like, me and Carl always love and enjoy spreading the good word of our Lord Super Katana to different people. And we had a great talk with a bunch of different people and explained some differences and, like, what's considered the beginner level gear versus advanced and why that's the difference and blah, yada, yada. But we heard people talking in line and they were like, oh, well, what do you bench? Oh, you bench 400? If you throw on a shirt, you're going to instantly bench 600. Like, bro, that is the shittiest advice to give someone ever. And if that were true, everyone would be in fucking gear. But it's not. Gear is, like, ridiculously fucking hard.
Yeah,
Like,
there's been, I mean, my short time in equipment, I've seen raw lifters be like, oh, let me run a quick training cycle, hop into a meet, and then they don't get a bench because they don't know the shirts.
yeah. Like, it takes time.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. It's not only getting stronger, it's getting stronger at honing your skill in those shirts. Like, my baseline I always tell everyone for gear is you are only as strong as your skill in the equipment, because you can't showcase that strength if your skill doesn't match.
Right.
Like, you just won't go anywhere.
Yeah. Also, one more thing, like at meets, you can talk to us about anything after the fact. If you have questions on the gear, do not come up and talk to me asking me questions on what I'm wearing when I'm getting my knee wraps off after I just took a third attempt and missed it. That's not the time.
We did have a couple of those this weekend. Like, very inopportune times to talk.
I was like, hey, come talk to me afterwards. I'll tell you all about it. Right now, not a good time.
You were walking off the platform. I was coming up behind you. I was about to deadlift. Rachel has my sunglass container with the ammonias.
Yeah.
I'm pulling one out. She opens it for me. I'm grabbing one out to put in my beanie. And the guy's like, what you got there? And I'm like, they're loading my bar right now. I'm like, dude,
this is not time to chit-chat.
Am I really going to have a full-blown ammonia capsule talk with a guy before I go deadlift?
Oh, well, actually, it's this. And it does this.
Well, the science behind it is like, no, dude. Like, it's just, it was, but all in all, like, we joke a lot. It was a very good meet. I had a really good time. And it was pretty smooth. We were done by what, 3?
Maybe, yeah, it was about 3.
Yeah, 3. Because we ate, and I remember we were back in the room by like 4:30.
Yeah.
We were chilling because we
So
went out
it was run very well. It was very smooth.
grabbed some chicken wangs.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good. So, and that was like the best fucking pie. I swear to God, they had really good pie.
Yeah, dude.
Apple crumb cake. That was legit as fuck.
Yep, found a good spot to get some food.
Is that everything? Did we hit everything?
I think so.
we did. Yeah.
You want to wrap it up?
Sure. I'll say one more thing. So, just a reminder too, like, if you are thinking about refereeing, if you're thinking about meet directing, if you're thinking about giving back to your sport, right? We always encourage people to give back to the sport, but make sure you start at a low level and work your way up. Like, there is this thing in our world now where everyone like hates starting at the bottom. But like, starting at the bottom and growing and learning and getting experience is what you need to do to be more successful, not only as a lifter, but a staff member and someone who's looking to potentially like run, help, govern things on a higher level other than just spotting and loading, right? There's no shame in that. And I will tell people when they DM me, they're like, hey, I really want to help out for this meet. I'm say, hey, X, Y, and Z, what have you done? Hey, I've never done this. I'm like, hey, well, I have platform managers, but I have these positions open, especially if this is your first time helping staff a meet. These are the positions I need filled, but if you've never even done this before, I'd prefer you not to have this position because, again, as a director, safety is always your number one concern. And if your dudes on the platform can't handle the lifters, you are jeopardizing their safety, right? So just please pull your ego aside and like learn. Just fucking read, fucking learn, and take the back seat in order to get that experience and grow into the person you want to be, both on either side of the platform.
Very well said.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it has been real. If you have any questions, want to DM us about a subject you want covered, yada yada, please hit us up on our Instagram. I'll be sure to post probably like a questions area if you want to drop something and recommend a theme or something you want to hear us talk about. But as a reminder, with love and grumpy paws, we be out.
That's it.